Okay, take two of this. My name's Jacob. I'm the face behind this channel. Um, I'm kind of making this video to hold myself accountable, I guess, to doing more in terms of game dev and other related fields, I guess, too. This is take two because the stupid webcam mic defaulted again after I plugged it into the mic, so I wasn't using this one. So it sounded awful and you couldn't hear me at all. So just wasted 13 minutes. But it's alright. Moving on. Recently I've been working on a sort of circuit board for just a cool project to do. I just thought it was cool. It's based off of the minigame in one of the casinos of one of the Pokemon games called Voltorb Flip. I just thought it'd be cool to have like a physical thing, you know, to push buttons on and play that minigame. And makes for a cool thing to add to my resume. But I've got here a schematic with everything wired up with, you know, LEDs over here and buttons. And then we've got a little screen to display some information about the rows and columns so you can see how many Voltorbs and points are in each column and row. And then we've got a toggle so you can switch between marking them. So if you think one spot on the grid is a Voltorb, you can mark it, and then you can flip it back to the other mode to flip those tiles and see if it's a Voltorb or not. And then over here we've got a battery charger, which plugs into a LiPo battery that I'm going to have inside the chassis for this project, and a voltage booster, since the battery won't be able to output that much voltage. And if we go to the blueprint for the circuit board, it's all wired up and stuff. It's a microcontroller called an ESP32. It's like an Arduino on steroids. And here's where the screen will go in the bottom right corner, and the mode toggle with a power switch down here next to the voltage booster, and the battery charger with the charging port for USB-C right here, and a LiPo battery input inside the case for the LiPo battery to go right here. And then we've got LEDs all chained up like that in series, and then the buttons right below them, and some screw holes to mount it to the chassis. That once I get the thing, the circuit board shipped and delivered to my house, hopefully by next week, I'll be able to start 3D modeling a chassis and some keycaps for the buttons and LEDs, and try to make those light up completely when the buttons are pushed, since I think that would be kind of cool. And yeah, I've been working on this for a couple months off and on, I'd say. I'm not exactly sure when I started, but I've had the parts for a while, and I've had the code to make the game work for at least 3 months, maybe 4 or more. Not sure on that one. But yeah, this one is a cool project I've been working on recently, and kind of swayed away from the game dev type stuff since I released Shape Grinder on the App Store. Kind of got super burned out from everything after I released that. So that's why there hasn't been any other videos, but I guess I'm back now. Hopefully. Hopefully weekly. And another thing that has happened recently is next week I am having a meeting with the business development director at Epic Games. And that's all thanks to my dad meeting him and introducing me to him. And so I've been working in Unreal Engine to try and impress him and potentially get a job there. Or he'll at least reference me to a hiring manager in the programming department at Epic Games. And I can get an interview there and potentially get a job. But I've been working on like a really simple and basic fishing mechanic. So you can press 1 to equip and unequip a fishing rod. And then you can click to send out your bobber. And a timer will start. It picks a random number between 1 and 10. And once it hits 0, the fish is on. You can reel it in, and there's your fish. It's just floating there for now. But yeah, super simple. Just kind of getting back into learning Unreal Engine since I used it for one, maybe less than one semester at college a couple of years ago. But yeah, it's definitely a little different for using blueprints in Unreal as compared to Unity, where it's almost entirely code. But I'm sure I could swap out for C++ and do things that way if I really wanted to. But the blueprints seemed relatively easy to try and get back into it for now. So I've got another week to work on this and polish it up, since the meeting was supposed to be tomorrow at 3, but it had to get rescheduled by the business development director. And yeah, did this in about 2 days. Took me Saturday and Sunday to do this. Most of Saturday was putting together this map that I took off the Epic Games Fab store, I think it's called, for free. It was like a lake town and a deep elder cave or something. Yeah. Didn't really do much with the cave since I was just doing a fishing mechanic, but it just adds to the aesthetic. There's like a little cave entrance down there. It leads into the cave over here. But yeah. Just getting back into the groove. Maybe I can get a job at Epic Games from this. Probably not. But aside from that, I've been not really doing too much for game dev. I have had a lot of ideas though. One idea, which I got from doing this Epic Games Unreal Engine return, was like a incremental fishing game where it's exactly what it sounds like if you know what the incremental genre is, and make number get bigger. And then the other one was another mobile game, kind of trying to use my subscription to the Apple development program, which is $100 a year. Don't really want to waste it. I might do like a mobile arcade type thing where it's just a collection of a bunch of games like 2048 or 1010 or Brick Breaker. You want the ball bouncing up and down and breaking the blocks. Just really simple games like that, all in one thing. And I'd probably end up calling it Mini Mage Arcade, which is based off of the studio name I'm trying to go for that I came up with a few months ago. You'll probably see the profile picture is the logo that I generated with ChatGPT and touched up in Affinity Photo. But yeah, those are the two options I've got right now. I'll probably go for the mobile arcade thing just to take advantage of my Apple developer subscription while I still have it, since I don't know if I want to pay another $100 just to not really have anything give me money, since I'm not really a fan of microtransactions and all that mobile mess. But yeah, hopefully this will be like a weekly thing that I do where I just kind of sit down, turn on the webcam, and talk about what I've been doing for the last week. Just kind of want to hold myself accountable to doing more. So, yeah, that's it. I'll hopefully see you next week.